Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. My name is Katarina. I should say maybe good morning. I'm filming really early in the morning. It is about 5 a.m. I'm drinking my morning coffee. Me and the kids will be going ahead to our new town today. We will be staying at a hotel. But yeah, we will be moving, so I need to pack my makeup collection. I'm really excited to be doing this video. I have been waiting to be able to do it. I will say it's a little bit late. I was supposed to do it before our trip to Tallin. We took a couple of day trip to Tallin, but I was quite sick before the trip, so I decided to film this afterwards. What's better day to do this than the day that we're actually going to be moving? So this is a new makeup bag that I have gotten. It is from H&M and my goal in the future is to store all of the makeup that I have in this makeup bag. Now I will say some products I will store away, either because it is a backup or because it's maybe like a foundation that doesn't match me that season, or then if I do have some color cosmetics, let's say lipsticks, in those I do gravitate towards certain colors, certain seasons, and then some colors I don't use at all some seasons. For example, pink lipsticks, I don't wear them now in fall, and then brown lipsticks, I don't wear them in spring. So that kind of thing that is a really seasonal thing I can store away also in another bag. But everything that I do have on top of my vanity, I want to store it here because now it has been a little bit annoying. I'm going to show you. I have had the majority of my makeup in this makeup bag, which is fine, this is pretty, but I need to empty this whole pack if I want to get anything from here, and that's a little bit annoying. So what I have had here is all of my complexion products and then eye products other than eyeshadow. I have had my palettes in here. I do have one in my travel makeup bag and then I got one from Tallin. Yeah, we'll see. It wouldn't be such a big deal to have this one for my palettes. Right now I do have some in my makeup bag, but I have had my cheek products and my nail polishes here. And then I have had my lipsticks and liquid eyeshadows in this little container, and this at least is something that I want out of the top of my vanity because I just don't like the way this looks. I want to challenge myself to store all of my makeup products in this makeup bag because this actually is a really convenient one. As you can see, it doesn't look that big when I have it here, but when I open it, there is that much space. And that is a lot in my opinion. So my goal is to fit all of my makeup there, but we'll see how it goes. I will say I have also stored some of the makeup, so this is like mainly backups in my drawer. In this little basket here I do have some extra brushes, and then my actual makeup brushes I have stored here. And then, since I mentioned my travel bag, I do have this makeup bag that I have been using for traveling. I don't know if I will need it in future because the new makeup bag already back here is good size for traveling. I mean, this is not any smaller than that. But then also I do have a similar shape but smaller like this that I carry with me in my bag. So it has a couple of little pockets on the sides and then one in the middle where I store my perfume. But yeah, this is quite a bit and we need to sort through this pretty quickly. I will say I'm going to do some decluttering also today, some last minute declutters that I don't want to move with me. But yeah, let's get into it. And of course now I need to empty this whole table, so let me take everything out so we can finally get into it. And I am thinking that where I'm going to put my backups from now on is going to be this bag that I have been previously using as my makeup bag on top of my vanity. Okay, so what I think I want to do is that I want to put my face products on one side, and then on the other side I want to put my eye products and lip products. I know I do have in here some complexion products. I'm just going to take those out right now. And I'm going to empty this at the same time because the backups are going here and the shades that don't fit. Okay, then I do have some in here. I will say that in this makeup bag that I carry with me to work and like in my bag, unless I do have a smaller bag, but if I have a larger bag that I carry with me when I go somewhere, I do have in this makeup bag pressed powder for touch-ups and also like blotting papers. So I'm not going to take these out. Then I do have some in here. So these are all of my complexion products. As you can see, it's not much. The very first thing I want to do is that I want to take the remaining powder here. This is the W7 Banana Dreams powder. So I'm going to take the remaining powder from here and move it to this container. This is the Vibo Mood setting powder, but I do have in here right now the Revolution translucent baking powder. I have been saving this packaging because of showing it in my inventories, but I'm not going to move an empty powder packaging with me. So I'm going to throw out the packaging, but also I'm going to combine this W7 banana powder to this powder. So then I do have only one loose setting powder. Okay, I was able to fit everything here. I'm just going to mix it a little bit with scissors. I just want this color to be a little bit more even, and now it's so full that I don't know if I can really shake it super well. The banana powder from W7 is too yellow for me to use on my under eye, but it should be fine now since I have combined the two powders. Then I am just going to put that back and close it. So yeah, now I do have only one setting powder, and these are now just empty packaging and they can be thrown out. Then I will say that these foundations back here are either backups or shades that don't match. This Catrice stick is a backup for this stick, which I have been using recently on my everyday makeup looks when I want to go for quick and natural makeup, and I really do like it for that. And then I do have here a couple of summer foundations. So all of these products are now going here to this kind of like backup slash shades that don't match sort of makeup bag. And then all of this I am just going to put to my new makeup bag. Alright, let's move on to cheek products. So I do have here the only face palette that I do have, the Charlotte Tilbury Nude Gasm one that has been my Pantat face palette, and I just filmed a finale for that. Then I do have in here some of these single ones. Then I did have in this bag my liquid cheek products. And then I do still have the cheek products that were with me in Tallin. So they are in my travel makeup bag. I had there a bronzer, a highlighter and a blush. One more thing. I have purchased a new bronzer in my winter shade. It is the Sigma bronzer. So that is the last cheek product. I'm going to declutter a couple of products here. You already know what is coming if you have watched my videos. So the Pantat face palette, as I said, I just filmed a finale. This is getting closer to 3.5 years in age, and for me 3 years is these days really the point when I consider a makeup product being quite old. And at that point I would just rather replace my makeup, and I want to keep my collection in a small size so that I don't have a lot of old makeup that is barely touched. That was an issue for me in the past when I had a large makeup collection, that I would have makeup that is 3, 4, 5 years old and barely touched because I had so much product, and also I was hyper focusing on panning some other old products. So that is one big reason why I don't want to have a big makeup collection with me anymore. I would rather have a small collection, get use out of my products, but then when they get to the 3-year age, at that point I do want to declutter the products. And yeah, this one, it is older now. It's time to let go of this one. Also, I'm going to declutter all of my liquid cheek products. I just don't like liquids. I have been working on this kinda with the Pantat face palette, but then, I don't know, a few weeks ago when I was using these, I just felt that they ruined my makeup. So these I am going to declutter. They are almost out anyways, and back in the days I would totally have forced myself to project panties, but these days I think it would be hate panning if I forced myself to use these. It's time to declutter these too. So these are all of the cheek products I'm going to be keeping, and as you can see, they're all singles in compact. Let's take a look at the Sigma bronzer that is new. I did buy it from Notino. I needed to get some other products from there too, so I just wanted to get some bronzer that they do have there. So this one was the one I wanted the most, although I will say this is really small in size. If you think about the price, this one only has 8 grams, I think. If you look at the price per ounce, for example, this is not any cheaper than the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer, for example, that was on my wish list, kinda, the fair one. But I don't regret getting this one at all. I mean, I have not used it yet, but this one looks absolutely incredible. This is the shade Light. They only have 3 shades, but this is the lightest one, and it is really, really pale. And I think this is going to be great everyday bronzer for me in winter, because it's going to be just like barely there. It's just going to give a little something to my face without really making it bronzy, because the way I use bronzer in winter is not to really make myself look bronze, but more kind of like sort of as contouring, not harsh contour, but I want my bronzer to give little definition to my face, which just otherwise is going to look kind of round and flat. So a bronzer is just going to create some shape, even if I use it really lightly. But yeah, this one is a really, really beautiful shade, and it looked absolutely amazing on some TikTok videos, and people were saying that it's really underrated. So yeah, excited to use that one, although I do think the price per ounce is really high. I mean, this is Sigma, this is not some super high-end brand. But yeah, this is my new winter everyday bronzer. I do have another bronzer, and I did travel with this one. I can use this in winter, but it is glowy, and oftentimes I just don't want that on every day. But I do really like this one. This one works for me both when I have tan and when I don't have tan. This is the Catrice Sun Lover Glow bronzer. But yeah, this one is really pretty bronzer. It's just for more glam looks, or then in summer I might want a little bit more of that glow even on my everyday. But yeah, those are my bronzers. Then I do have 3 blushes. This really, really neutral one from W7, it's my favorite blush. That's why I took it with me when we traveled, because this is just going to be barely there on my cheek. Like, it doesn't even look like blush, but it's just going to bring my skin and my bronzer a little bit closer. Then this one is my most kind of like rosy blush. This one is from Mesa da Milano. This is kind of like a more rosy nude tone. Not necessarily my favorite, but it's about a year old right now, and I sometimes use it, so I'm going to keep it. And then this one is from W7. It's like a matte peachy blush. I don't know, not my favorite. Again, I do think if I went for this sort of a little bit peachier, pinkier color, I would probably prefer to have a little bit of shimmery, glowy formula, but this one is like totally matte, and I feel it can look a little bit flat. But this color is something that I don't use in fall and winter, so I'm actually going to put this one here. Then I do have here 2 highlighters. One that is more natural one, this is the Essence one, and then one little bit more blinding one, this is the Iconic London one. So yeah, these are products that I can see myself using now in fall and winter, so I'm going to put them here too. Seeing all of the face products here so easily, I don't think there's going to be any issue for me to put here my palettes with the other remaining products. But I think the palettes I need to put here next, because they're so large. Let's take the remaining palettes from this palette container, which is pretty, and it's not like officially a palette container. This is from H&M Home. But yeah, these palettes, and then I do have a couple in my travel makeup pack. So the palette that I packed with me is the Juvia's Place palette, and then I got a new eyeshadow palette, and let me tell you, it must be the most perfect cooler toned neutral palette ever that I have seen. I'm warm in undertone, so for me an issue with cool palettes is really often that they do have a lot of mauve tones, or they just pull too ashy. So I just want a palette that is neutral, slightly leaning cool. And let me tell you, this one from Mesa da Milano, this is their Archetype palette. They do have 2 of these, a warm one and a cool one. This is the cooler toned one, the Archetype one. And look at that. This one is exactly what I have wanted. It is just neutrals that are leaning a little bit cool. So for example, the mattes, there's no mauve tones, which I especially appreciate because in mattes, the mauve tones for me are the worst, but these are just a little bit cooler toned browns. And the shimmers in here are just incredible. I'm going to swatch a couple of them. They're just so stunning. Oh, I don't want to waste them. That one actually is maybe a little bit more like golden toned. I don't know how well the camera now picks it up, but like, yeah, the camera doesn't now pick it because the light comes from different angle, but these are so beautiful. This first one, the Aurora shade, is actually my favorite because that is actually like a gold. So yeah, I'm really excited about this palette, and this totally is something that even though I am warm and this is cool, I think this is going to suit me so well, especially like in winter. These type of colors are something that I would go for, especially in my more glam looks. And yeah, this one, totally a really great glam palette, like New Year's Eve sort of tones. Because for me, then again, colors like grays and straight up silvers, they're not necessarily the best because they go too cool. Then I do have here my Juvia's Place the Nubian Earth, which unfortunately ended up being a little bit disappointing for me. I just don't think the formulation here is as good as the Juvia's Place palettes I have used back in the days, like the Nubian 2 has been my favorite Juvia's Place palette ever. I think it was such an incredible formula. No a bad shade in that palette, but in here there are some that are just not good. But since I do have it and since I do like these colors, I'm going to keep it. Then the ABH Soft Glam, which I have been thinking about making my next year's kinda like Pantat palette, even though it's going to be really just focusing on enjoying the palette, creating different looks. So it's going to be that instead of focusing on progress and hitting pan and finishing eyeshadows. But yeah, this is my more warmer toned neutral palette. Then I do have here my Sosu All Matte Everything eyeshadow palette, which looks like this one, my perfect matte everyday eyeshadow palette. Then the last palette that I have is the Catrice Pure Nude eyeshadow palette, and I'm a little bit on the hands if I should keep this or declutter it. As you can see, I have hit some pans there, but the issue with this palette for me is that I really hate this on my lid. This is an example of a palette that when I put it on my lids, the colors just won't work. They're going to be too ashy, they don't look good. But also the formula is not super good. The browns though I have been using on my brows, as you can maybe guess, because those are the ones where I do have good progress. I also have hit pan on the light shimmer. I have been using it as an inner corner highlighter. I don't do that every day, but if I do have the Iconic London highlighter that is going to be a perfect tone for me to use there. So yeah, I think I do have enough of those brow color appropriate browns in another palette so that I don't need to keep this one. And now we can pack all of my palettes to my makeup bag. Now, none of these palettes are something that I wouldn't use at all any given season. So I'm going to put all of these palettes in here. Let's hope they fit. Okay. I do have one issue here. The Sosu palette, because it's this square size, it doesn't fit here just like that. So I need to put it standing and let's hope for the best. It works quite fine like this. Is it perfect because it's standing like that? Not necessarily, but I think it's good. And actually now I'm just able to pick whatever palette I want to. But yeah, those are the palettes. Then I do have some liquid eyeshadows. Yeah, I do have the Saison Woo Celestial Last eyeshadow. As you can see, I have gotten pretty good use out of this. I do think it's good. I will try to finish it maybe next winter. I do have one from the Balm. This is the liquid eyeshadow in Rosé, or it is like a pinky champagne sort of thing. Really pretty color. Then I do have two from Pupa Milano. These are the Pupa Vamp eyeshadows, and I don't think these are quite so incredible. I think these are something that they kind of just look like basic shimmer. I think liquid eyeshadows should look really glamorous, really up there with the shimmer or the like metallicness of it. These are just kind of boring and basic. But I do think I'm going to keep the gold one because it's a gold. I do like it, especially this time of the year and the holiday season. But then I do have kind of like a white color, and I just don't really like this color. This one is for me too much to use on my lid, but then in the inner corner this is kind of like difficult to blend out. I would rather than use a highlighter there, so I actually cannot see myself getting really any use out of this one, so I'm going to declutter this one, but the gold one I do still use. And I'm going to actually put these liquid eyeshadows, there's like 2 smaller pockets. I'm trying to put them there because they're not something that I use all the time. By the way, I'm not going to put my makeup brushes to my new makeup bag because brushes typically are more dirty, and I don't want my new makeup bag to get super dirty, but we will see later what I'm going to do with brushes. Oh, I do have here one single eyeshadow. This is from Catrice. It's like their single eyeshadow. The shade is, I think, Frosted Bronze or whatever. I have not used it really so much, but it's a really pretty color, kind of like a rose gold. This color is pretty, and because this is not too old yet, I'm going to keep it. But yeah, I think these are now all of the eye products that I have other than eyeshadow. As you can see, I don't have too much. I do have 2 mascaras, a black one and a brown one. Oh, I do have backup mascaras. So now that we are moving, I'm actually going to switch to new mascaras. I have had these open for about 4 months. One of them, I don't know, remember exactly which one, is starting to feel a little bit drier and like I need to build up a little bit more. Could I get to maybe a month or 2 use out of them? Probably, but I just think it makes sense for me right now that we move to switch mascaras, and these have been open for about 4 months. So yeah, these I'm going to call done right now, and I'm going to switch to new mascaras. The backup that I have for the brown mascara is the same. It's the Essence Lash Without Limits mascara in brown, but a black mascara I wanted to get in something that is going to give even a little bit more volume. So this is the Essence I Love Extreme Crazy Volume, and this is the waterproof one. Then I do have here an eyeshadow primer. I do, by the way, need to get a glitter primer. That is on my wish list, but I have not gotten one yet. I think I want to get the one from Technic. Then I do have here a liquid liner, then a nude waterline pencil, and my false lashes. You know, I think I'm going to try to put the mascaras. No, they don't fit there super well. I would really love to put the mascaras here on the side and the stuff that like I do use regularly, but does that still close? Let's try, because it would be handy to still have those like, no, I cannot put them there. Because the mascaras and other stuff that I do use regularly, I cannot really fit them here. I am going to put this eye makeup other than eyeshadow all to this middle pocket that I do have here. This pocket is not actually super large, so I'm just going to put here like all of the mascaras and stuff. And then the false lashes, those are something that I don't use like regularly. Oops, now I put the false lash glue there. The false lashes are not something that I use super regularly, so those I am going to put to this side pocket. Then we do have left my favorite makeup product type, so lips. I do have some in here. These were in my bag yesterday. This one is actually an empty, but I'm going to put it here right now. I'm going to talk about it soon. That was traveling with me, as well as that one. And then also, I did buy some new lip products from Mesauda that I do want to share with you in this video. So as you can clearly see, compared to a lot of other categories in my makeup collection, I do have quite a bit of lippies, and I did buy quite a bit more. I mean, I bought 3 lipsticks, 1 tinted lip balm, and 1 lip liner. Lip products just is my favorite makeup category, and it's also the one that I do like to buy the most, and it's the one where I maybe want to change colors the most. I don't know where to start. Maybe I will say, this one is an empty, but I'm going to save it for the next seasonal lip product video. So I'm going to put it to this makeup bag. And I'm going to put here also colors that I don't think work right now. Maybe let's go through the ones that I bought first, so we can take them out of the like cardboard packaging. I did buy from Mesauda a lip liner. This one, they do have 2 lip liners. This is the more affordable one, and this is in the shade Flesh, which is just going to be my most perfect lighter nude lip liner. This one actually is really similar in color to my natural lips. So if I want to create little definition without making the color darker, this is going to work great. Yeah, it's really similar to my own lip color. Then I bought from Mesauda one tinted lip balm. This is the Hydramorphosis tinted lip balm, and this one is the Inspire one. I think it's, no, Skillful one. Inspire is like a little bit pinky color. This one looks a little bit pink in the tube, but it is basically a clear one that is going to give this little glow to the lips. Then I bought one lipstick from Art Deco. This is their perfect color lipstick in the shade Fairy Nude. This one is a really pale peachy nude, and I actually wouldn't wear this one on its own. I do think, even though sometimes I like to go for a really nude lip, I do think where this one is a little bit challenging is because even if my skin undertone is warm, my natural lip color is kind of like pink and a little bit cool. So if I put something like this that is a little bit more sheer in color on top of my natural lips, it's just going to look artificial and my own cool lip color is going to peek through and it just doesn't work. However, I have been wanting to find a perfect pale peach lipstick that I could use to soften some of my darker lipstick colors, because I do have some peaches and stuff that I just think they're a little bit too dark and muddy for me, but I think this is going to be perfect for brightening them. Then I did buy two of the Mesauda Cult Creamy lipsticks. I did take a look at the Cult Matte lipstick too, and I do have one of them, the shade Lovers, which is the red. But I think the Cult Matte lipstick shades are not necessarily quite perfect for me. They go maybe a little bit dark. I do have previously, maybe I will swatch it, the shade Idol, which is kind of like a peachy nude, but it's not like as nude as the one that I bought from Art Deco. But just for reference, so that you can see this one compared to the other Cult cream lipsticks that I bought. I bought the shade Chic, that is going to be my perfect pink nude. Even though pink is sometimes considered being a little bit cooler color, this is not super cool at all. And here comes the thing that my natural lips are pink. So sometimes the pink lip just works because of that, because it mimics my natural coloring. So really beautiful. That's going to be perfect for me as a pink nude. Then I bought the shade Prince, which is a little bit warmer toned, kind of like mid-toned nude. So there you can see that one. So yeah, those are the new lipsticks that I bought. I'm really excited about all of them. Now let's go over what I have in here. I think there's maybe, I'm wondering if I want to declutter anything. You know what, I don't want to declutter anything right now. I do want to do any lip product decluttering then in my seasonal lip product videos. But let's go over my lip liners first. I think the only lip liner that I know for sure that I won't be wearing right now is Moody from W7. This one is just like a really mauve tone. I actually think I'm probably going to declutter this one in my next seasonal lip product video. And it's definitely not a color that I use right now. It's an example of something that is so cool. So that I don't want to put to my makeup bag, so it's going to the backup bag in here. But then these other lip liners, I'm going to put them there. Couple of other things I know I won't be wearing right now this time of the year. The clear lip gloss from Juvia's Place. Also maybe the new Mesauda tinted lip balm. These are for me something that I would more wear like in winter, spring, summertime. But this sort of thing I don't wear in fall. So they're going in my backup bag. And then also this really pink Juvia's Place gloss stick. And also I do have this Catrice Shine Bomb Lacquer that is like a rosy color. Don't wear it in fall. So, oh, I do have here one more lip liner, a red one. Okay, so I do have two reds. I do have the Charlotte Tilbury Red Hot Susan, and then I do have the Mesauda Lovers. This Lovers one is like a true blue based red, even though it's technically a little bit cooler. I think it works really well for me. And then this one is warmer, a little bit more orangey, works great this season. And then in summer when I have tan, looks a little bit rough because my daughter was playing with it once. I do think I'm going to put both of these to my makeup bag. because I love red lipstick and I do want to have the option to go for any of them, even though right now I do wear the Charlotte Tilbury one more. I do have this Juvia's Place, the Velvety Matte lipsticks. These are not my favorites. Honestly, I do regret buying them a little bit, but since they're pretty new, I'm still keeping them. But I do think this is a great example why I shouldn't buy lipsticks online without seeing them in person, because I watched so many review videos and lip swatch videos and everything, but still the colors ended up being a little bit disappointing. I do have to say Mademoiselle, which is like this is a peachy color, but I don't know, when I swatch it here it looks fine, but then when I wear it, it sort of looks a little bit weird. Maybe I can wear it sometimes now in fall because it's still a warm color. This one is called In Vogue, which in my opinion it is more like a light orange. And then Libra, which on me it just looks like a little bit muddy color, because it's one of those that I don't know if it wants to be a light brown or a mid-tone nude. I do think the new Art Deco lipstick that I have is going to work great for brightening this shade. Let's actually swatch the Art Deco one. As you can see, it is more sheer in color, and I do think it's going to work because of that. Well, I think I'm going to put all of these right now to my makeup bag. I do have from Art Deco a couple of other lipsticks. I do have, these are the Hydra Care or something lipsticks. They are kind of like a hybrid between a lip balm and a lipstick. I do have a rosy color. I don't use it a lot this season, but I can see myself going for it once in a while. I'm going to put them there. Another one of these Catrice Shine Bomb ones. This is the French Silk one, which is just like a neutral nude, really nice color. All of the Mesauda Cult Cream lipsticks I am going to put to my makeup bag, although the pink one I don't necessarily go for so much right now, but still, they are such a beautiful lipsticks. Then I do have the Essence Caring Shine lipstick. This one is in the shade My Choice, which is another one of my really pale nudes. This one is a more beigey color. Works great for also brightening lipsticks, but I think it works better if I'm going for a more neutral lipstick, not super warm tones, because this one is a little bit more neutral nude in tone. But yeah, I do wear it sometimes. I actually traveled with it. Okay, so this is it. The moment of truth. I do have here right now all of my makeup, with the exception of the backups and then the colors that I simply do not wear this current season. I want to see if this closes or not. I don't think there's going to be any other issues except if this Sosu palette is going to be too tall, but let's try. Oh no, it actually doesn't close super well. You know what, I think it is a little bit too much to have both the palettes and the lipsticks here, unfortunately. I would love to fit all of them here, but for right now I cannot do it, so I need to choose. So I personally do want to rather have the palettes out visible in this little container, because the palettes are at least not quite so much clutter. The lipsticks are so small, so it's going to look like a lot of clutter. In future, my goal is to have less palettes. I think I would ideally want to have 3, and maybe palettes that are a little bit smaller in size. Well, this one is a really nice palette, this matte one. But yeah, maybe palettes that are not quite this big. But for right now, I need to take them out. They don't fit here so well. I'm going to put my lipsticks to this other side. And now, since I do have here only the lipsticks, I'm also going to take from the middle part my lip liners, and I'm going to put them there. I'm a little bit sad that I wasn't able to fit everything here. Maybe in future when I buy makeup, I will try to think if I'm able to fit the product really well here. But then again, like some of these Complexion product packaging, it is just a little bit bulky. That's how I need to do it right now, and now it should close really well. But now it feels like there's a lot of space, and I probably could put something here still. Let me try one more thing. No. Yeah, the palettes, they are just too much. I'm just going to put everything else but the palettes here. The palettes I'm going to store visible. Oh, but one thing. I'm going to take this makeup bag with me today, so one palette I will need because I don't have a brow color other than in my palettes. So I'm going to take the Juvia's Place palette, and that I'm going to travel with today. And I'm actually going to still today, this morning, do my makeup, picking the products from this makeup bag. But I mean, this is so nice. It's so nice to, in future, have all of my makeup in this makeup bag rather than in different containers, and then it looks like a lot of clutter. But the eyeshadow palettes, those I do need to store there still. Okay, let's talk about a couple of other things next quickly. So, first of all, the makeup mirror that you see when I film sit-down videos, I'm not going to take that with me, unfortunately. The mirror has been with me for almost a decade. I got it in 2016 when I got my own makeup room. However, in future, that's just not going to be the most practical thing, and anyways, I don't know if that is the most stylish choice anymore. Like, it totally has that beauty influencer aesthetic. But the biggest reason why I won't take the mirror with me is that in our new apartment, the only place where I can have my vanity is in front of a mirror, which is actually a nice thing because I like to look out when I do my makeup. I can take inspiration for my makeup look from nature, like what kind of weather it is. And then also I can use natural light if it's not dark when I'm doing my makeup, so that's great. But I won't be able to hang the mirror on the wall. It could stand on top of a vanity, but then it's going to take so much space that it just won't fit on top of my vanity. So the mirror, unfortunately, will need to be given away. But I have gotten a new mirror. This one is just a cheap 15 euro mirror from Normal. It does have LED lighting, so I can use light if I cannot use daylight if I'm doing my makeup early in the morning and it's dark. This is not the most high quality one. Maybe at some point I will get a better one, but now I wanted to get this one because it was a budget option and something that works perfectly fine. So this is a mirror that I will be using in my new setting. I have this little bag for brushes, and I'm kind of on a hence if I should keep storing my brushes here or then store them visible on a mug or something. I think that would be more practical, but I don't necessarily visually like how that looks, so I'm a little bit on a hence about that still. But I do have right now some of my brushes and tools here in my travel makeup bag, so I'm going to take these out again and put them back here. So in here there's like two sections, one for larger brushes, so I do put my fake brushes there, and then one for smaller brushes, and it has those little pockets that are handy, but right now I don't have time and I don't bother to sort everything out, but I'm just going to put everything here. I actually do have a new sharpener. This is from LH Cosmetics, and I need to switch my sharpener. I do have this Charlotte Tilbury sharpener, which has been really good, but it's annoying because it opens and then it easily can create a mess here in my brush bag. So this one, it feels like it's a little bit more sturdy, but we'll see. And also this one has a sharpener for only your standard size pens. I never use the larger size in these sharpeners. They often do have the standard size and a larger size, which is for like jumbo pencils, but I don't use those. So yeah, I thought that this is just going to be fine for me. The sharpener goes there. There's some random tweezers that I actually don't use. I do have in this little makeup bag some of my kind of like extra brushes and stuff. I'm just going to put all of that right now to this like backup makeup bag, and I'm going to think about sorting that out later. Then I do have a fan for doing my makeup, but that won't fit into any makeup bag, so I'm going to just put that one to my vanity drawer or something. But now that this one is empty, I'm actually going to put my nail polishes in here. So right now I have my nail polishes standing here, which is handy because then they're standing. So for example, if I'm doing a project polish, I can see the progress easier. But I will say I do think this looks a little bit too much like clutter for me. So I'm going to put all of my nail polishes to that makeup bag that is now free. And that's going to be a good size for my nail polishes. The nail polish remover I'm not able to fit there, but I'm going to put that maybe to my vanity drawer or something. But yeah, we'll see if I do have any purpose to this in future. Maybe actually this would be nice for my jewelry. I'm going to think about that once we have moved. But about the containers, this one is going to be decluttered. I just don't need it. I don't want to store my lipsticks visible. And anyways, this is starting to be pretty rough looking. It has been with me for years. I do have here one backup pack of these like lash curler pillows. So those maybe go there. I actually need to switch the pillow once we have moved. Oh, I do have from Normal these makeup sponges. These are really nice. I'm never again going to buy an expensive sponge, not even like a Real Technique sponge, and for sure not a beauty blender, because I do think these normal sponges, which you get 6 sponges for €5 or so. I think one of them is a smaller one, but I think there's one smaller and 5 of these larger ones you can get for €5. So I'm buying these in future. But I'm going to put both of these here right now, and once we have moved I'm going to switch my sponge, because my sponge is like, it's starting to be pretty rough. But now that it's in a close to makeup pack, since we are moving, I don't want to start using a new one. Okay, so here's my really curated and decluttered perfume collection. Now, I will say, I may get some of the perfumes back that I took to thrift store. They're kind of like in a pricing service. These are the ones that I have right now and I need to move with me right now. So this one I have already stored in the box. It's the Latafa Hair Confession. Absolutely beautiful. My favorite springtime gourmand fragrance. And then here, Fursan White from Hot Lush. It's like a summery coconutty vanilla scent. Don't use it this time of the year, so it's packed away already. But then the other perfumes, I do have the boxes for the majority of them. The only one that I don't have a box for is the Kayali Vanilla Royale. I actually do regret a little bit that I threw the box away, because Kayali doesn't make those like diamond shaped boxes anymore, and I got this one in one of those. But this is my holy grail fragrance. Honestly, if I could have only one fragrance, this would be it. I'm going to put this one and then the samples that I have to this makeup pack. So the Kayali one goes there, and then I do have 2 perfume samples only right now. So the Cafe Latte from Hot Lush and Elysia Vanilla from Fragrance World. Those go in there, but for all of the other perfumes I do have the boxes left, so I'm going to pack them to the boxes. By the way, I bought a new perfume from Notino. When it arrived, I wanted to get it right away, because I have wanted this perfume for such a long time. This is the Hot Lush Musk Pure Musk Blend. Oh my gosh. This one is like the most perfect musk ever, and it's such a long lasting scent. Like if I spray it in the evening, it's still going to be on my skin next morning. Stunning. That is a new perfume that I got and was on my wish list for ages, and I will say Hot Lush is just a really nice brand in my opinion. This also is from them, the Empire Victor. Okay, the perfumes are now in their own boxes, so I'm going to pack them for our move, and I think that's really everything for this video. It was really fun to do. It's a little bit of a bummer that I wasn't able to fit the palettes here, but that's fine for now. But I do think in future, my goal is to downsize my collection still so to the point that everything fits in here. That means that I can only have probably a couple of palettes that are going to give me enough variety, or then smaller sizes maybe. Like I do have a couple of those little bit larger palettes that are kind of like ruining the thing. And then lip products is also something that I do want to downsize them a little bit. Right now I just decided to get some new lipsticks from Tallin, because I felt like I don't have enough good nudes in my collection, and the nudes that I had were a lot of the times too muddy and just didn't work. So lipsticks are something I need to downsize. There's not a lot of downsizing that I can do with my complexion products or with my cheek products. But yeah, in future, like the goal is to fit everything in here. But right now, everything else but the palettes and of course the backups that I don't use right now fit here. So that's what I'm really glad about. But that's everything for today. Now I need to get on with my day. We need to leave in just a few hours. I need to do my makeup still. and get some breakfast and everything. So that's everything for today. Thank you so much for watching this video and see you in my next one. Bye bye.